You're listening to Bright by Your Side with Jen Dyer. Up-leveling in the age of anxiety with groundbreaking science. Are you looking to live your life with more flow and ease? Every episode, she has enough surprising information and tips that you will be able to come away with at least one nugget that could change your life. You will learn to build resilience to stress and overwhelm, find joy every day, and manifest your dreams. Gain understanding of your little terrified human that is holding you back, and that brave, bright inner being that is nagging you to move forward. She's here to help you feel empowered to make that change. Bright by Your Side starts now.
Welcome to Bright by Your Side with Jen, up-leveling in the age of anxiety with groundbreaking science. I am your host, Jen Dyer, and today on Transformation Talk Radio, we are talking about cancer. So cancer victim to victor, the unspoken truths and hidden realities that you need to know. And you know, I keep running into this thing where doctors aren't telling people stuff that is really helpful. So I wanted to touch on this subject because cancer is kind of touching all of our lives. Cancer diagnoses are on the rise, believe it or not. Less people are dying of cancer, thank God. But the number of cases is increasing, especially early onset cancers, meaning younger people are getting diagnosed at a higher rate. In fact, younger people in their 30s and 40s, are actually more likely to be diagnosed with cancer than people in their 70s right now. It's a very strange thing. But what this means is that you are likely to know somebody who gets the news and is going to start on a journey. So here's just a quick study published in BMJ Oncology. Globally, from 1990 to 2019, new cancer cases among younger ages increased sharply by 79% overall. So I'm not kidding. This is based in research. It's not something I've just noticed. It's real. So my next guest is a health and wellness expert. She's a PhD, and she's also a metastatic breast cancer survivor. Who told me there were so many things that she wished she had known when going through her cancer journey that doctors didn't tell her. So I wanted to have her on the show. She works with women. She's devoted her life to up-leveling women's health and wellness. She is the founder of Volitionary Coaching and the creator of the Vitality Life Map framework. And again, she's devoted her life to helping women live a healthier, more fulfilled life. So please join me in welcoming Wendy Harmon to Bright by Your Side. Welcome.
Hi, thank you, Jen. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you. This is so important. So I guess we should start with your journey. And let's talk about, what brought you to this point in your career?
Yes. So you get asked that a lot. I had a corporate career for about 20 years. And then when people learn that, the next question is, why did you become a coach? Right. And my story really revolves a lot around the metastatic breast cancer. It was October of 2017. I was in the best shape of my life. My corporate career was just going phenomenally well. I was standing in line to board an airplane home from a business trip that went really well. And I answered a call from my doctor's office. And after a little bit of chit chat, I heard my doctor say, I wish I had better news, but the biopsy came back and you have stage 2 metastatic breast cancer. I hung up the phone in complete disbelief. Here I was, 47 years old, a single mom of a 12-year-old. In the best shape of my life. I ate well. I took care of my body. I exercised. There was just no way I had cancer. By the time we took off, that despair quickly switched to, that disbelief quickly switched to despair and fear. I started thinking, am I going to get to see my daughter graduate high school? Am I going to be there when she goes to college, find the love of her life? I didn't know how I was going to do metastatic breast cancer, take care of my daughter, my corporate career. And worst of all, I feared, how was I going to tell her that her mom had cancer?
Ugh.
Then by the time we landed, I was mad. I was mad at God. I was mad at everybody.
Like all the stages on the plane.
It was a pretty short trip too. It really was.
Right up through it.
Everyone I knew who smoked, drank, didn't exercise, ate like crap. We all know these people. We have one in our lives somewhere, right? And I just kept on thinking, why me and not them? Like, why me? And that, come to find out, was the question that kind of haunted me for the next 5 years. I had chemotherapy, double mastectomy, radiation. I went into medical menopause overnight because my cancer used estrogen for food. They put me on estrogen suppressing drugs. And, I had 14 surgeries in 4 years.
Oh my God, that's insane.
It was a little ridiculous, yes. But in the cancer community, there's a site called I Had Cancer. And this is a site where cancer victims, friends and family members of cancer victims can kind of go and write their letter to cancer as part of the healing process. And so when I got to that point, I sat down, I opened up their little post that said Dear Cancer at the top. And I just kind of sat there because I was trying to figure out, I don't even know what I want to say. I know I have something to say, I just don't know what it is. And after a few minutes, I looked at the computer and it said, Dear Cancer, I forgive you. Love, Wendy.
Mm.
And looking back, I realized that was the answer to that question that was haunting me. Why me? I truly believe it was because I had the health, wellness, and fitness knowledge and the endurance to heal and survive it. So I can help other women live their best life, hopefully prevent disease, navigate it if they have it. And that's why I became a coach.
Wow. That forgiveness thing was so powerful. I'm just like still kind of reeling. That was really, really, forgiveness is just so powerful and so difficult. And I love that. So I assume you help guide people to that point so that they can kind of move on and stop being angry.
Yes, it is. It's hard. But part of the wellness, so the Vitality Life Map really just kind of focuses on 3 pillars. It focuses on health, which is at the foundation. It's a triangle. Health is always at the bottom. And then we have wellness and we have fitness. And depending on where you are in your journey on to your goals, you can start at different places. But wellness, one of the things that helped me tremendously and kind of really shift my mindset was working with the 6-phase meditation. That became an absolute main staple of my day. And in that, as you probably know, it's, made by Vishen and Mind Valley. There's a big phase on forgiveness. And forgiveness could be you, your younger self, someone that may have harmed you. But when you focus on forgiveness and gratitude every single day, it really starts to shift your mind. So you just don't have to feel like a victim. You can get a victor mentality because remember, your mind doesn't know right or wrong, true or false, fact or fiction. It only knows what you're telling it. So if you're able to reprogram your mind as being that victor, seeing yourself cancer-free, not having any health issues, your mind starts to believe it. And then your mind, because it wants to protect you, becomes your greatest asset and your greatest advocate. So wellness was a huge part of it. And it was meditation that got me there.
Yes. And for people who are not familiar with the 6-phase meditation, it's really an active meditation. It's not just focusing on your breathing through 6 phases. It really is what I always talk about, the rewiring of your brain, using it to help move you to the next level spiritually, intellectually, and then also your body's in there too. It affects your body. It really is truly amazing. Yeah. So, I mean, you were already a personal trainer into health and wellness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After this journey, it just totally caught you off guard, pulled the rug out from underneath you. You went through this journey. So I want to definitely get back into that journey and what you can offer to help other people. But what is different for you now after having been through that?
Yeah. What's different for me now is really understanding how your health is is all you have. Your health is your wealth, because without your health, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters, right? If you can't do the things that you want to do. So it really kind of forced me to put an emphasis on health. And luckily for me, I had just finished Well Fit 90 with my girlfriend probably 6 months before I was diagnosed with cancer in 2017. And of course, Well Fit is a 90-day program. It's the pillar of all of my programs. That's why it's at the base of the Vitality Life Map, is because you got to get your health right first. And you learn how to eat like a human. You learn what the human diet is, and you learn to eat seasonally and kind of keep your body in and out of a state of ketosis, which is using fat for energy. Well, what I know now that I didn't know then, because I continued to live Well Fit, I continued to eat on the Well Fit diet. I was in ketosis for much of my chemotherapy and my radiation and my surgeries, and I had a lot of energy. I continued to work through that entire process. And come to find out, there's a lot of research. It's starting to get more and more research. It's still a little new, but ketosis can have a positive effect on cancer because it can starve your cancer cells. A lot of cancer cells and certain types of cancer want to rely on glucose for their fuel. And if you're depriving the cells, they're starting to see some studies where ketosis can actually help manage cancer and a lot of the different journeys. It definitely helps you with your energy level, which is really what gave me the ability to get through all of that and not just lie in bed for 4 years and never want to get up.
Yeah. And for anybody who doesn't know what ketosis is, it's basically that keto diet that you've heard about. And it's really just using your fat stores. You stop with the glucose, you burn it all out, and you start using your fat stores to supply your energy. It's mostly a protein and vegetable diet, which of course, the protein is what you need to rebuild your body too. So if it's the missing glucose is starving the cancer, and you have the protein to rebuild your cells, because, as Wendy told me, she's like, my body was carpet bombed basically when going through treatment. And I love that term because it's so true. It's so true. So, yeah. So you work with your patients, you use the Wild Fit protocols in there to help get them. And so even if you haven't gotten a cancer treatment or got a diagnosis, if it comes, you feel like you're a little more ready to tackle that, right?
Absolutely. And it's 90 days. So even if you do get the diagnosis and maybe you're not in the greatest health, there's time to shift things around to help you navigate that journey better, right? It's all about living better. And we did talk about the keto diet, and there's a much healthier way to eat rather than just focusing strictly on minimizing your carbs, right? I'm a firm believer that a lettuce wrap burger with cheese, bacon, avocado, and mayo is not the best of choices, even though it's keto.
Right.
But, because back in the day, as our ancestors, that's not what they ate. And so that's kind of what WellFit does, is it brings us back to our roots.
To the real food. And that's with anything that people lose weight on. If you're only down to one meal a day and it's junk food, that's not okay, but you might lose weight on that. But it's not for you. And it's certainly not what you need if what you're going through is chemotherapy and you can really only hold down one meal a day. You got to make it count. It needs to have everything you need in it. So
absolutely.
Yeah. I was gonna say, we're getting close to a time for the break. And I definitely want to dial in when we come back on, what things can you share with people that they probably don't know that can really benefit them, whether they're going through a treatment or if they're going through any other illness or, chronic disease, because it's probably going to help that too. So we're going to take a break.
Menopause.
Oh, menopause. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, yeah. We can talk about that too. Great tips for that too, because that we're all going to go through, right? Totally.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will get to some real tips that are totally going to help everyone out there. All right. Thanks. And we're back here at Right by Your Side with Jen, up-leveling in the age of anxiety. with groundbreaking science on Transformation Talk Radio. And I'm here with Wendy Harmon, our health and wellness expert, especially when it comes to menopause and going through cancer treatment, all the things that can make it a little bit easier for you. And I love some of the things that she says, just small changes can have a huge impact. So, Wendy, why don't you share with us those top 3 things maybe that would really benefit the audience?
Absolutely. So one of the things that I mentioned at the beginning is your health, right? And that's probably the number one and most important thing. But what you may not realize is learning how to eat the way our bodies were designed to consume nutrients, that's going to help prevent disease. It's going to help you battle a disease. It's going to help you in perimenopause. It's going to help you in menopause. There's really no downside to focusing on your health and focusing on your health in the right way, in a way that's simple, easy to understand, and something that just makes sense. And and then I think the other thing I would say is if you are going through something like metastatic breast cancer, like my journey, what you can find is you're going to be working with doctors. You're definitely going to have an oncologist. You're probably going to have a surgeon, maybe even a reconstructive surgeon. But those 2 doctors are not going to be advising you on your health. They're not going to be advising you on your wellness. They're not going to be advising you on what you can do from a fitness aspect to make it through this process. And so what I know now and what I do now is help people understand that there's more to it than just those 2 things, right? There's things that you can do with your mind. It's those small changes every day. A 15-minute meditation practice can make all the difference in the world to help you shift that mindset and get out of that victim mentality. Sometimes we feel like victims when we're going through perimenopause. We're like, wow, okay, why does this happen to me? The guys don't have to go through it. It's just us. And we do feel like we're a victim of menopause. And then so it's asking those questions. And the other advice would be to, just because a doctor has a white coat, a stethoscope, and probably a degree on his wall, if you don't have to take their word as 100% truth. If something doesn't feel right, take your time, seek that second opinion, do some research, ask those questions. You need to be a critical thinker to protect yourself. Rather than, you want to be active in your journey. You don't want to be passive and just accept everything that comes your way.
That's awesome.
And here's an example of something that they didn't tell me. As I was going through my journey, when you're going in perimenopause or losing estrogen, they removed my ovaries because my cancer fed on estrogen. So the quicker and the faster we could get the estrogen out of my body, the great. But what they failed to say is, okay, it seems counterintuitive to use estrogen cream if you're trying to rid your body of estrogen, but there's not a lot of studies that will contraindicate the use of estrogen to maintain some very simple body functions that you really want to have. You don't want your skin fusing shut. You don't want to have vaginal dryness. You don't want to have pain while having sex or intercourse. So those little things, super important. The other thing that came out of it that really kind of caught me by surprise was after my double mastectomy, went direct to implants because my surgeon said, oh, we do it all the time, no problem. So I had implants for the chemotherapy and then I had implants for the radiation. And it was after my radiation when I went to remove the implants because the one on the radiated side looked like a raisin. It just kind of dried up. It was horrendous. I decided no more implants. I'm going to DIY. We did a deep flap. I'm just going to use my own body and tissues to reconstruct my breasts. And it was that surgery that put me in the Mayo Clinic with a really life-threatening disease or life-threatening infection that they never identified. But in hindsight, and speaking to the doctors since then about the experience, their best theory is, well, it is possible. You're radiating plastic. It's possible and probably very probable that I got so sick and had 6 surgeries within 3 weeks to fight that infection because the radiated plastic was in my body. So I think it essentially poisoned my body. But my plastic surgeon.
It makes perfect sense. You can almost see it happening. You're like, I have these things in, now you're radiating them.
Yep.
Like, then they suggested you do that in that order.
Yeah. Had my surgeon said, okay, now there's a chance that the radiation could affect your implants, I would have waited until it was all done. And then maybe not even had them, just gone straight to the rebuild. So.
I mean, that's the thing. Even if they just said there's like a 5% chance, I'd be like, I can wait.
Mm-hmm. Oh, completely. Yeah.
I'm not like going out to, it's okay. I can not wear a bikini for a few months,
Yep. And I think the other nugget of information when it comes to mindset, I mean, I had chemo, so I lost my hair, bald. It was Arizona. It was very hot. I had some fun with some wigs because, your insurance will pick that up. I still have my wigs. I'll throw them on a Friday night date every now and then just because I feel like being different. Yes. But I also had all these beautiful headscarves because it got too hot. When it's 115, you don't want this mop on your head. You're already hot. So I had these beautiful, soft, silky, really expensive headscarves. Went all in with holidays, things like that. I just made it festive and as fun as I could. And when I was done, I remember putting them in a bag and putting them up in the top shelf of my closet. And I was like, oh, just in case. And then one day I woke up, I'm like, just in case what? This cancer is not coming back. I get that stuff out of your head. So I donated them. And that's another thing is don't keep that stuff around. Throw away the old shirts that you use when you're doing radiation and trying to manage the burn with therapeutic oils, right? Just get that stuff out of your life when you're done with it. You don't need it again. So.
Yeah, well, that's probably one of the hardest things is to not constantly look over your shoulder, worried about it coming back, like that chime going off in your head every day, just kind of popping in there. Yep. So you help manage that, help people get past that. That's a fear.
Yes. Yep. Through meditation. I'm also a certified hypnotherapist. So we use hypnotherapy sometimes. It really just kind of depends on the person, what they need. A lot of tools in the toolbox, right? That's what's so great about becoming a coach and kind of diversifying in different areas is just a lot of tools in the toolbox.
Yes. And I want people to know hypnotherapy is really powerful. It's really powerful and it's really quick. It's surprisingly quick.
It is. It is. Yeah. I kind of wish I had it back when I was going through my journey.
Absolutely. I wish I had it the whole time I was trying to lose weight and when I was in my 20s and 30s when I was obsessed with doing whatever the latest fad diet was. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wonderful. So, so tell us, you have this practice. So, if I'm struggling with my health or I'm, let's say I have a chronic condition or I'm facing menopause, like when I come to you, like, what do you say? What do you offer?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Now I'm a PhD, not an MD, but what I do offer, and I think there's two things that really help most of my clients most of the time. The first one is I want to connect. I want to meet people. And so I offer strategy sessions. That's really hard to say. Transformative health strategy sessions. And what that is an hour of us working through your goals, where you are in your journey. And what you get out of that is some outcomes, some things that you can focus on that's going to help get you from where you are now to where you want to be. And it could be in anything, health, wellness, fitness. You could be on any particular area in your journey. And then the other thing I have is it's a free video series. It's 5 days. You get maybe a 10-minute video every single day. And it's just the 5 things that you can do today to start improving your health. And so within 1 week, you can kind of go through those videos. And if you start implementing the suggestions and the practices in those videos, you're automatically going to start to get your vitality back. You're going to feel better. It's not a 3-month program. It's a 1-week program. And if you really work on implementing those things, you can start to see a change. And then, I like to do a lot of group coaching. So most of my programs are group coaching. And I do that. I have the Vitality Quick Start, which is 3 months. And then I have the Vitality Life Map, which introduces the fitness piece. because you can, believe it or not, lift weights, improve your strength in 15-minute workouts twice a week and never need a gym. And that's what I did a lot when I was going through the journey is I was doing my at-home workouts to make sure I kept up with my physical fitness. So group programs there too. So love groups. It's just, they're so delicious when you get a bunch of people together because then you can learn from other people. So.
100%. People have some great information that they've been through that they want to share. Yeah, so we only have a couple of minutes left, but the key takeaways I think that we should leave with the audience is like try to eat whole foods, like as opposed to ultra processed. Like that's one of the things like for anybody to maybe prevent disease going forward, and that helps manage your cancer treatment. Any other real quick nugget for people to take away that maybe can't do your program?
Mm-hmm. Yes, eat like your ancestors. If your ancestors didn't eat it, don't put it in your mouth. That would be the first one. Definitely the 6-phase meditation. I'll be honest, you can find it on YouTube and it's free. Yeah. Vishen Lakhiani walks you through it. Yes. You know, it's the rule of 100. If you spend 18 minutes a day for a year, you are going to be 95% better than you were before, or other people who are doing the same thing. So a 18-minute meditation practice can make all the difference in the world.
Those are key. Okay, so you're giving away some things. Let's talk about your giveaways.
Yes, yeah. So it's the free health strategy sessions. You can find those at the bottom of my website. Yeah. And then it's the 5-day video series that you can find at the top. So you can kind of start there and work your way down.
Wow, that's for you guys. That's really, really, really great. That's sounds pretty solid. Okay, so then where should they go to find you?
Yeah, so those two things are up on yourvitality.coach. And you can find them there. It's a website that I use for some of my personal events and coaching. They filter into Evolutionary Coaching. That's the company I like to use for my B2B. But yeah, so yourvitality.coach. 5-day free video series at the top. And then I would love to connect with you. You can schedule your 1-hour strategy session with me at the bottom.
I love that. Yourvitality.coach, not .com. It's just .coach. Yes, this is fantastic. This will also be in the notes of the show. And also you can find Wendy at the Bright by Your Side website, brightbyyourside.com. She's on the services page with the other coaches. And so you can get a hold of her and you can get a hold of her free programs. That's so fantastic. So we are ready to wrap this up. And I just want to thank everybody for joining us. I'm so grateful that you're here. And I'm grateful that you want to learn easier ways to make your life better and more fulfilling. So thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And
thank you, Jen.
Yeah, this is great. My name's Jen, and I'm just here to help. This is Bright by Your Side on Transformation Talk Radio.
You have been listening to Bright by Your Side with Jen, up-leveling in the age of anxiety with groundbreaking science on Transformation Talk Radio. If you are considering mental health medication for yourself or your child, please try this first. Life skills and gut health are keys to reducing anxiety. Let us show you it's easier than you think. Tune in every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time to feel optimistic about your own abilities and learn easy, proven ways to live life with ease. Become resilient to stress, anxiety, and overwhelm, and find joy. We're bringing you solutions to the problems stressing you out. We do the research for you and present it on a silver platter with a side of fun and laughter. Every show will leave you smiling, optimism, and joy in real time. To connect with Jen, visit brightbyyourside.com.